The Basics of Hermetic Kabbalah as Applied to the Tarot, Lesson 1. Modern Jewish Kabbalah is an outpouring from the Merkava, an ancient alternate mystical tradition that has run parallel with regular Judaism since its inception. Jewish Kabbalah emerged around the time of the Crusades, 1095, among Jewish communities in Europe. Hermetic Kabbalah has many other philosophical influences, most recently, Rosicrucianism, Theosophy, Freemasonry and Christian Kabbalah. Diagrammatically, we see that the primary influences are Hermetica and Kabbalah in various forms. Hermetica are the documents that record the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary figure that is a synthesis of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Kabbalah, at its core, is the exploration of the relationship between human beings and God. The word God can be replaced with any other, pure radiant consciousness, the supreme being, the goddess, whichever best suits your conditioning and temperament. It makes heavy use of symbols in an attempt to unlock insights that are transcendent to concepts our language can describe. Kabbalists saw that symbols were a more effective way of communicating truth. One such symbol is the Tree of Life, and it is indeed central to the study of the tarot from the traditional Western perspective. The Tree of Life essentially symbolizes a collection of views of the dynamics of the relationship between God and the creation. It is a view because it is made by humans, it is a collection because no single view could capture the complexity, and it is dynamic because the relationship between God and the creation is always changing. A helpful view to begin our understanding is the chain of emanation. From this perspective, the 10 Sephira, grades of emanation, are seen as successive emanations of consciousness, from unconditional, unlimited, boundless pure consciousness containing all potential in the first Sephiro, Keter, to an attenuated form of consciousness in the forms of the world, its stuff, in the last Sephiro, Malkut. With this view in mind, we can begin to look at the structure of the Tree of Life and how we derive it. From a human and Kabbalistic perspective then, the cause of causes, God, unconditional consciousness, or any other name you would like to give the first principle, would be the only thing. There could be no movement in that thing because it was all that was. This is symbolized as a circle, although 2D on the screen, you can visualize it as a sphere. At some point, the cause of causes desired to know itself. How would it do this if it was all there was? It would have to create a point in which consciousness would be perceived as separate from the whole, a point of perspective as such. This is symbolized by a point in a circle. Now this point would find itself separate and would be able to move. It could move to the edge of the sphere, and from there create another sphere of influence or consciousness. Where the spheres intersect would create a pool or vortex of energy that would further create more spheres of influence. By going to the intersections of the outer edges and repeating, the seed of life emerges. This is covered in sacred geometry should the subject be interesting to you. In 10 rounds, revolutions, emanations, the flower of life emerges. It can be discerned when 3 consecutive blooms appear on either side of the central column. The Tree of Life fits onto the flower of life in the following way. The tree can be repeated on either side of the center column. Note that the left and right pillars overlap. This is something to think about when you have learnt more. Now there is an understanding of how the symbol is derived. Let us explore the structure of the tree and its significance. In the chain of emanation view of the tree, where one sephiro, vessel of emanation, causes the next as such, the order of the sephiro can be seen as follows. This is known as the lightning flash and shows how pure consciousness is attenuated into the forms of the world. But first a note. To the Kabbalist, form denotes anything that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. An object that you can see, touch, smell, hear and taste comes into existence, exists for a time and then decays. It is said to be a physical form. If the object is further from you and you are only able to use one of your senses to become aware of it, it still comes into existence, exists for a time and then decays. It is said to be a sensory form. An object only available to you in your mind also has a beginning, a middle and an end. It exists for a span and then decays. It is said to be a thought form. In the same way, emotions have a beginning, a middle and an end and are considered forms. Thus to the Kabbalist there is no difference between physical, sensory, thought or emotive forms. They are the stuff of the world. In our next lesson, we will trace the lightning flash from Keter to Malkut to explore the path from undifferentiated consciousness to the differentiated forms of the world.